Welcome friends to my kitchen. Bem-vindos à minha cozinha. I have one of my sons come and spend a couple nights with me. And you know, when you have your kids, you want to make everything for them. I don't know, I'm sure every parent is that way. And I don't get to see him that often, so when he comes, I go all out. So I already made soup. I have some white cheese already going, and I'm gonna make some bread so we can have with the soup for dinner. So I have recipes here on my YouTube channel with popsicle bread. Just go look for them. Each video has a recipe, and I make small, I make large quantities. You go and find it. I have 6 cups all-purpose flour, just regular all-purpose flour. 1 tablespoon of salt, and in here I have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of instant dry yeast, and I'm gonna start doing my yeast so it start blooming. So when my son told me yesterday that he was gonna come for a couple nights because he's having some meetings, I was so busy. And then this morning I got up real early because I got things to do. I'm still fixing up things in my house and they're halfway. So I figure I would get up early and do this. So I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of flour, and then I put half a cup of warm water. It is a rainy day, so it's perfect. I was supposed to make this soup yesterday, but I didn't have a chance, so today is perfect. I already have dinner done, so I don't have to worry and stress out later on. I wasn't planning on making a video. I just last minute, but I've been wanting to make a bread video again because there's so many newcomers. And people ask me for recipes and then they say, I can't find it. Well, it's there, you just gotta look for it. I mean, I know I love sharing my recipes and that's why I give you the recipe. But I can't be looking it for you and send it, because if I do, then I don't do nothing else. And if I do for one, I gotta do for the other ones. So I'm gonna put, I have some really soft butter. I'm gonna put maybe about 2 tablespoons. This is by eye. Don't have to be precise. And you can leave, this is salted butter. I'm gonna mix, I have here 4 cups of very warm water. And I'm just gonna put a little bit in the middle and try to melt that butter. And I'm doing this all by eye. This is a recipe, I know what I need, and that's what I'm doing. Okay? And as you can tell, it's all melted. Okay, I'm gonna wait for this to bloom a little bit more, and then I'll show you what's next. My yeast has bloomed enough. I'm gonna put the water slow, just because I wanna make sure that that's enough water. I don't wanna add more than I have to. Like I said, I just made this out of my head for what I need. This is not specific recipe that I have. And then I'm making the cheese because I know he likes the cheese, and then he's going home tomorrow and my granddaughters love white cheese. So I figure I'd get this done today. No, so 4 cups was just enough. Okay, you can make this in your machine if you want, in your mixer. But this is the fastest way, is your hands. And all you want to do right now is incorporate all this. and it's just a sticky mess. Okay, I'm gonna cover this and let this sit here for 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna give a hand. So meanwhile, when I'm waiting for my bread, I'm gonna shake my cheese. I have recipes for how to make this cheese. Go look again. This is 1 whole gallon of milk, and I put 3 teaspoons of coarse salt, and I warm up my milk up to 100 degrees, and then I put a teaspoon of the granite that I use. I use a Portuguese granite, but if you can't find it, I use the loaves. I always have some extra. Even for my kids, I give it to them so they can make it at home, because they can do this too. And I make this. I got up real early this morning to do all this so it wouldn't interfere with my plans were, because I got things that I need to do. So this way I already have this done, and my kids, my grandkids, at least my granddaughters, this son, they were brought up. I've been making this for so many times. They just want to eat. It was so funny that I remember my youngest granddaughter. She said she wanted on the bread, but she would just eat what's the top, but she would never eat the bread, because she just wanted to eat the cheese. Go blame her. Anyway, so you want to salt your milk before you put the granite, because that way it already flavors all this. And see how all this liquid is already coming out. If you warm up your milk too much, you won't have success. So be very careful. Only put up to 100 degrees. And now I salted more with fine salt. My mom used to do with rock salt. That's what we had. But I do fine salt. And we like to have this with malagueta. All my kids, they gotta have malagueta on top. I'm gonna use a strainer and strain the rest so it'll go faster. All I do is put it through a strainer, pour everything, and let this sit here. And it keeps draining so it'll be faster. When we were kids, we used to drink the whey. This is called the whey. This is very nutritious. I used to put it in my plants, but I made a mistake one time. I put it in my plants. I forgot that I had put salt. My mom never put salt. She salted as she went along. But I find it by putting the salt now before, it flavors better the cheese. So anyway, it killed my plants, so I never put it in my plants again. But this is very good for us to drink, for smoothies. I used to save, if I made a lot of bread often when my kids were home, I would save this and put it in bread. You can use this on the bread. It has salt, but it's not that much that's going to interfere with the recipe. So, but anyway, and here it is. Now I'm just going to let this sit here throughout the day and drain it, and my cheese is done. Okay friends, it's been 15 minutes, and now I'm going to give a hand to my bread. And you want to stretch this as much as possible until they start pulling away from the bowl. And at this point, if it was too hard, you could add a little bit more water. If it's too soft, you add a little bit more flour. But this one is just right. Okay, I'm gonna clean my bowl around. I'm gonna use my bowl scraper. Some of you have asked where I got this bowl scraper. I buy these at Amazon. I will leave underneath on products if you want to purchase. So you can buy it at Amazon. They're really cheap and they're really helpful to clean bowl. And as you can tell, see, it's pulling away from the bowl. Okay, I'm going to leave it here covered for maybe about an hour or until it doubles in size. It depends the temperature of your home. Okay, just gonna cover and leave here on the counter, and I'll show you when it's ready to shape. This is 7:30 in the morning, and I already made cheese. I have some soup. This is kind of Mexican soup. And here it is, my bread that I'm ready for dinner. So when you want something, plan ahead. Okay friends, here's my bread. It's ready to be shaped. I'm gonna make some popsicles, and then I'm also gonna make my granddaughter's love bread with linguiça. So I'm gonna make some, so when he goes home tomorrow, he can take them, because I know they love pão com chouriço. Eu estou fazendo pão, because um dos meus filhos veio uns 2 dias que ele tem meeting aqui à minha volta, e ele veio fazer meeting e decidia fazer pão, que é coisas que sei que ele gosta, e a gente faz tudo quando os nossos filhos, coisas que eles gostam, a gente faz. So, o que eu estou fazendo hoje? Eu estou fazendo pão à minha maneira, à minha moda. Isto foi uma receita que eu fiz na última da hora, porque eu não tinha tempo para estar aqui a procurar receitas e eu precisava de pão. So, eu vou fazer pão. Eu fiz sopa esta manhã para a gente comer. Eu vou fazer pão com chouriço e vou fazer uns com uns popsicles. So, este eu vou fazer com chouriço, que eu sei que as netas gostem pão com chouriço. So, eu tenho aqui farinha de milho, isto é farinha de milho que eu tenho aqui. E a gente quer estar a counter com bastante farinha, senão o pão pega. E eu vou pôr chouriço aqui dentro. Isso é chouriço, a minha última porção de chouriço. This is my last link of my chouriço that I made. So, okay, I'll put more in here. And then in here. This is for my granddaughters. He's gonna take this home tomorrow, because I know they love this. I got up real early, made them breakfast, and then after that, I made soup. I already have my dinner done, and I also have made white cheese. My granddaughters love white cheese. So now I'm going to try to shape it into a ball as much as possible. Keep flouring your hands. And here I have some chouriço bread. And now I'm going to make some popsicles. Not very many, because it's just more for dinner. So see how many, see if I can do maybe 8. And I'm gonna shape these and then I'm gonna leave them here. 3, 6, 7, 8, just right. Okay, I'm gonna bind them all together and then I'm gonna let them rest over here so I can shape them into a pop stick. And what I'm doing is stretching all that gluten so it gets to where I want to go. It's like it's very lazy right now. I'm gonna cover them and leave them here for about 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna shape them into pop sticks. This one, I'm gonna put more flour on top. This is white corn flour. And I'm gonna let this do the second rise for about 20 minutes over here. And I'm gonna already turn my oven at 450 to bake these. I'm going to put my bread in the oven and I'm gonna spray some water and put more cornmeal. And the reason is it'll make a crust. And then I'm gonna put some water in a tray in a bottom rack. So it creates steam and it'll crust up this bread so it'll be crispy in the outside. I'm gonna keep the tray in the oven for 20 minutes. And then I take the tray out and leave another 10 minutes the bread. So now I'm gonna shape my popsicles. This is how I do it. Is it the right way, the wrong way? I don't know. This is my preference doing. I let it rest. It's been rested for 10 minutes. Then I flatten. Then I roll it. And then I make it thin, the top. I make the ends a little bit thinner. And then that seam stays up when you roll it. And it creates that divided in the middle of the popsticles. Okay? See, there's a divider in the middle. And this dough looks beautiful. It's full of bubbles. So it's gonna make nice, fluffy dough. Popsticles. And I leave this top is my top of my popsticles. Or the bottom of my popsticles. Because you want that seam to the top. Okay, I think I better not put no more so they don't touch. See? It has that division already. I'm gonna shape the other ones. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle more corn flour on top and of all the bread. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit here for another, I don't know, 15 minutes or until that other one is done, and then I'll put this. Okay friends, my bread is out. Now I'm gonna put my popsticles. If your cut, your seam kind of disappears, use a knife to just make a small cut, because sometimes the seam disappears. So I'm gonna spray some water and I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit more flour on top. And again, I have my tray with water in the oven. This is gonna cook probably 15 minutes with with the water, and then I'm gonna take the tray and leave another 10 minutes. Okay, friends, I took my popsicle. Look at this. Beautiful popsicle. They were in the oven 25 minutes. 10 minutes with that water, and what it does, it creates a crust. Creates a steam, so you get a crust. Just like this one. See? This is the shitties for my granddaughters. I have the other ones in there. In the oven, and my popsicles are done. I cannot help not having one. I need a popsicle. Warm popsicle. And I'm gonna have one. You gotta have. See? Whew. Look at the inside. Soft. Put that butter in here, it's gonna melt. Ooh. Nothing like a warm popsicle with butter. So these stayed in the oven for 25 minutes, and this stayed 30 minutes. And one way you know, it depends how golden you want, but if you put a thermometer into the bread and it reaches 200 to 250, 205, it's done, it's cooked. Aqui estão os meus popsicles e o meu pão com chouriço all done. Estes levaram no forno 25 minutos, e eu pus uma pana com água para criar vapor, para ficar crispy, para ficar crocante na parte de fora. E agora eu estou comendo com manteiga. Tão bom. Eu vou deixar a receita na descrição. Isto foi uma receita que eu inventei, fiz porque precisava. And dei-me as pão grande e dei-me 8 popsicles. É só o que eu queria. You give it a try to this recipe. I leave it in the description, the recipe. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Share my videos on your social media with your family and friends, and give me some thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you for those that have subscribed, that have shared, and that have commented. Until next time, have a good day.